Alright, g'day, hi and welcome. Video number 2. Okay, so still got a load of bricks. 23 degrees at 8:35 in the morning. And yeah, so I'm off to do 1 or 2 jobs today. I was supposed to get the other 2 jobs done yesterday, but because I don't want to do 3 jobs in one day when it's this hot, because it puts me way into the afternoon when it's really like just scorching. And yesterday it ended up, I had a emergency whippersnipping to do. Paul tried to get a hold of me and he couldn't the day before. And it was just weird, like I missed his message on Messenger. Sometimes it doesn't give you the notification. And other times it's like, oh, she got the grass cut finally. I got that lawnmower battery going for her, but she's had all kinds of problems. The belt came off and everything. So, but anyway, yeah, so it's like I had to go and whippersnip yesterday, and I was going to try to do the other my normal clients, 2 clients that I do today, which is 3 places. I was going to try to do them all, do 2 of them yesterday, get them out early in the morning and get them out of the road. It was 3 or 4 hours, right? And then I'd have today just 3 hours, but today is going to be like 4.5 hours. So whether I did 4 hours yesterday or 4 hours today didn't matter. Yesterday worked out about 3.5 hours, so just it's kind of like trading off the days. I think today's going to be the hotter day, but the good news is where I got a cut, it's a little more shaded, so it's not so bad. All right, so topic of today. Ugh, stay on the road. That's the first topic. Wake up and stay on the road. Yeah, I'll be the death of me yet. Yeah. So anyway, remember I got a load of bricks in the back, eh? Yeah, I think I need a new alignment on this poor truck. Yeah. Keeps me going anyway. Keeps me going. Buying a used truck. I had a video and it got cut off. I don't know if my camera just died or whatever. But I was saying, like, when you're buying a used vehicle, it's like this, okay? This 16-year-old vehicle, no idea what the previous owners were like to it. Like, it does look like it was a vehicle that was taken care of, so chances are if it was taken care of, it wasn't probably abused, but it depends who was taking care of it. Now, apparently, the lady that had it before me, okay, was ex-forces, armed forces or whatever, retired. You know, she probably wasn't doing burnouts in the parking lot. But before her was a mechanic that owned it. And he's the one that basically did all the body work and the paint and all that. Touch up. I'm sure this truck has a fair bit of rust that I don't know about on it because he probably stayed on top of it. So, it's one of 2 things. Either that guy worked this truck to death, and although it doesn't show the proper mileage on this, apparently the dash got changed out for some reason, and there's about 300,000 K on this, so it's that'd be about 180,000 miles or so. And the thing is that it's not too bad. Sometimes there's a bit of a wash there from all the rain, even though it's paved. The thing about that is that chances are the guy did do a lot of work on it. Like, the body on this thing's not bad at all, and that's probably the most important for a guy like me, because that's what takes my trucks off the road is the rust, right? It's like you got a rust bucket that, you know, might not pass a roadside inspection, and then as soon as things start going, brakes, whatever, exhaust, windshield, whatever it is, you got to question whether it's worth it to reinvest in that, you know, even if it's a great running vehicle, you know what I mean? Like, Brutus wasn't a bad running vehicle. You know, he never left me anywhere, and you know, he was a good running vehicle, but he needed everything. You know, and that's the problem, you know, like, it's like the power steering pump was going and stuff like that. So putting that much money, I mean, you're looking at anywhere from $500 to $1,000 just to fix a power steering pump, right? And get around these guys. morning, especially on a blind corner. You gotta, you know, people come out of here, you know, they haven't had their coffee yet. They're all cranky and in a rush. They're late for work. Yeah. So anyway, what I was saying, yeah, so the guy probably did take care of this vehicle fairly well, but he could have worked it to death. You know, being a mechanic, you never know. Maybe he was hauling all kinds of shit with it, stuff like that. If he was a young mechanic, he was doing burnouts in the parking lot, probably breaking this thing twice a week. I'm going to show you how good my truck is. There goes the transmission, right? So I have no idea how many parts have been replaced on this truck. Maybe, you know, 90% of the stuff is original. You know, usually when it's rusted on really bad, it's usually means, the good news is that means it's original equipment and probably wasn't abused. When you see a whole bunch of new parts, sometimes that's not a good thing. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's not a good thing. It means that either A, the person was really hard on the vehicle, or everything's gone. You know, like everything's going. You know what I mean? And yeah, so when you're buying a used vehicle, like there really isn't any guarantees it's going to last more than 5 minutes, right? You just don't know, and that's always the gamble, especially once you start getting out of the the beater, rust bucket, get me through the season kind of vehicles. Once you start getting into like, you know, like, I mean, I know $6,200 isn't the most money in the world, although this guy's now, as of yesterday, has earned his keep back at least once. He's earned that $6,200 back in under a year, so that's good. And hopefully he'll get a lot more. I'm going to be putting in flowers in there pretty soon, I think. Yeah. So there's a lot of things you can do. Whatever vehicle it is you're going to look at, do as much research as you can on common problems. Just so at least you get a place where to start. Now, when I checked this thing out, you know, like for example, the high beam being out on the side, I thought it was just a bulb, so I let it go, but it's not. It's probably the pots were probably replaced at one point, and the pigtail for the bulb, which is common. The replacement bulb for Gen 3 Rams changes between like I think it's like 02 and 05, and then the 06 to 08s or whatever, or like 05 to 08s or whatever, are a different wiring. So I think that's the issue I have, because I think that's the issue I found. There's no way to figure that out when you're checking it out. The clunky 4x4. When I tested this vehicle, the 4x4 wasn't clunking. So either it just started doing it when I bought it, or I didn't test it properly enough, right? I mean, I just put it in 4x4 high and low, and I tried it. Yeah. Now, I knew about that brake thing dinging there because the lady told me about it. But check out your vehicles, you know, start with the simplest thing. Check the oil. If the oil's black in it, you know, it gives you an idea of how the person took care of the vehicle, right? Or lack thereof. Does the transmission slip? You know, sometimes it's hard to test these things, especially when it's not under load. You know, the vehicle will run fine, but as soon as you put it under load, you find out. Now, I've had this vehicle under load, and it pulls like a freight train. There's no doubt there. The engine missing thing. When I bought this truck, the engine light wasn't on. But maybe this is one of the issues this truck has had, and maybe it's been fixed a million times, and it keeps doing it again. But I would have liked to known that it had this issue, but then it would have brought down the price, right? So you can never go with the idea that when you're buying a truck from somebody, that you're going to get an honest person. You're going to get a person that will, when you tell them, oh yeah, that truck, by the way, it had this problem. Oh really? It never did that for me. You know, you're going to get that. So just make peace with that. People are going to lie to you. That's, you know. So at that point, the IOTAS is really just going to be on you. You know what I mean? The IOTAS is just going to be on you to, you know, do the best inspection you can. Like for example, I knew I got to put a new emergency brake in this thing. That I just knew. You know, you could tell a lot by just looking at the engine bay. You know, like how clean is the engine bay? This truck was actually pretty clean when I bought it. So like the lady like her idea of maintenance was probably take it to the car wash, right? The previous guy was probably, you know, do the body job, you know, stay on top of stuff, make it look good, whatever. But I saw the Schaube exhaust right away, and I figured, well, I might get a year out of it. I didn't quite get a year out of it, but that metal. Oh, that looks like the Ravens got in there. That's what happens when you put your freaking garbage on top. You're not supposed to put your garbage on top. Anyway, yeah, I might have an extra job today. Yeah, go clean that up. Anyway, yeah, so just, you know, the best advice I can give is just, you know, be really mindful about, you know, the vehicle you do buy. Just go over everything, you know, check the wear on the tires and stuff like that. Like the consumable stuff, you got to kind of let that slide, like brakes, tires, whatever. If the brakes are like done, you know, negotiate on that. If the tires are half wear like these things, okay, you're not really going to be able to negotiate on that. But if they're completely bald, yeah, you know what I mean? So stuff like that. Check all the oils, you know, check the transmission, see if it's low, see if it's really dirty. And mind you, the transmission fluid, if it is like not proper color, I'd walk away from the vehicle, because that means you probably got like a lot of real problems coming down your way, even if it seems like a really good deal. I'd rather miss a really good deal and err on the side of caution than lose all my money, you know what I mean? And then have to